It's Friday, June 27th, and this is today's cuss word. Welcome to today's cuss word. I'm Michele Kus, your spiritual growth coach, coming back at you on Friday with another conversation with my friend Charity Williams, the founder of Hope Words Ministry. We're talking about kingdom creativity. It's been an awesome few weeks. Let's dive back in.
I think that art specifically, creativity, that our artistic expression, like you just said, it reaches beyond where words can reach, and it touches the spirit of a person. It goes into the very spirit of a person and lets them encounter spirit to spirit, God. And it's like no words are said. You just know. You just encounter him. You just feel it. There's this knowing in that encounter that just transforms, that where words go through filters, they go through life experiences, they go through belief systems and, all that garbage that kind of gets us tangled in knots. But like an artistic expression, it just goes past that. It cuts right past it. And there's no filter, because you're in awe and you're in wonder of what you're watching, what you're seeing. You can experience it. And, I think that's part of why I'm so passionate about creativity. It's because it cuts past all of our walls and our boundaries and our blocks and our belief systems and, and all those filters. It just slices right past it and gets to that spirit, and it makes that impact. It's like an arrow that just gets drawn and just, it's so fast and it's so sharp that it goes in so easily. And I think that's, we were talking about creativity from a kingdom perspective versus creativity that the world creates. And I think that that's one of the differences, is that kingdom creativity is spirit to spirit, and it impacts spirit to spirit. And it, like your daughter, draws people in a way that they don't understand. Like I'm looking at this painting and all of a sudden my headache went away. I don't understand why. Why did my headache leave when I looked at this painting? Why, when I watched this dancer move and flow, all of a sudden my hip pain went away and now I can move. It's like, because there's healing in the room. It's just, and it's that creative expression. Has power. That's awesome. Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah. And that, what you said right there, is going to blow some people's minds. That you can watch a dancer and suddenly my hip pain is gone. I can look at this painting and suddenly my headache is gone. And there's so many stories. I've heard so many stories, particularly from Teresa Dedman.
Yes.
Are you connected with her?
Yes. I love her.
Yeah. Yes. She has so many stories like that. And she has this Create Academy that I was a part of for a while.
Yeah. So the Kingdom Creativity was her original, like her books from, way back when she first started, that my friend was teaching. And that's kind of where I started to come alive and be awakened to Kingdom Creativity. So that was like my beginning. So I'm like, yes, go Teresa. That's amazing.
Awesome. And she actually came to my previous church, Greater Chicago Church. She came in, I want to say 2014, and we did a conference and she spoke there, and she told all these stories about how people were healed and delivered and set free just from creative expressions. And the one I'll never forget is when this guy was freestyle rapping, and someone gave their lives to the Lord listening to this rapper. This guy was wrapped into the kingdom.
Come on. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, she has, I'll link Teresa Dedman's stuff in the show notes as well, because
definitely.
That's really, really great resources for kingdom creatives. Or if you just want to dig deeper into this subject of kingdom creativity, it's endless, right, Charity?
Endless. Yeah. She's amazing. I absolutely love her ministry.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, definitely dive in. Dive all the way in.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me is when I heard her speak and say all these things that I personally was in a season of my life when I was taking DJ lessons
Oh,
and I was just starting to figure out how to DJ and I'm like, is this okay? Is this like a
yeah.
legit? Is this okay in church? And of course, my church was like, let's try all the things, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Just super, there was a lot of freedom there to just be who
Good.
you are. And, if a mess was made, then we just clean up the mess.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
I remember she just gave so much permission, like to all the creatives in the room. Like, if God has put something on your heart, try it.
Mm-hmm.
Just try it. There's just something about having that open permission.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't even have to be good.
Yeah.
When I started DJing in 2014, I wasn't really that good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get better as you do it, but it's like, is this fun? Is this a way that I can express how God has made me and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah,
I love that. And
yeah,
there is room. There's always room for improvement and growth. But like you said, we don't have to be perfect to step
mhm.
out and just do it. Yeah.
And you don't even have to be an artist. Like we've been talking about
Mm-mm.
painting and dance and
Yeah.
music and rapping and all of those things, but
Yeah.
I mean, even kingdom creativity could be innovation, having new ideas, having
Yeah.
a business idea, a book idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I have there's a couple that moved from Florida to our church, and they just felt like God drew them here. And of all the places, that God took them all the way from Miami, Florida to here, and they opened up a business. And in their business, it's all about Jesus. Literally, like everything's about Jesus. And they pray for people. They host worship nights. And it's an ice cream shop. Like people come there for a sweet treat, and they encounter heaven, and so it's like that's creativity if I've ever seen it. Like we're going to get people in here for this amazing gelato and this amazing food and this, and then we're going to just douse them with the spirit, and like they're going to leave knowing that there was something different about that place. Like that's creativity, like in a different form and an out of the box, like. And I think we relate creativity so often to the arts.
Mhm,
And it's so much more than that. I mean, our phones, our technology wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be able to do this. It had
mhm,
not someone created it. That's creativity, the mind to understand the code, to write the programs. Like I have another friend who's a brilliant business owner, and this guy is, I mean, he's right. The codes that he writes, the way that he puts programs, I mean, it's just mind boggling. And I'm like, you're like literally one of the most creative people I've ever met. And I don't understand it. And I don't know how you do it. And I don't know how you track all of this because my brain just wants to explode. But I'm like, that's creativity if I've ever seen it. Like,
yeah,
and I think
mm,
it's time. I mean, I think it's time to like give creatives in the arts, the arts creatives, the room and the permission to play and to be, but also to give business people, the engineers, those people that are just so smart and so talented, permission to come under that umbrella too. Like you're creative, God put that inside of you. You're blow the world apart in your creativity and do the things because we need it. We need that innovation. We need those business ideas. We need those inventions. Like create it with all that you are, and don't be afraid to just run after it, because God did put it in your heart and God is speaking to you, and it is kingdom creativity, even if it looks like, a business idea or a program software building, or whatever it would be. I think we have to take the stereotypes off of what kingdom creativity is and allow more people in and let them realize that they are creative and that they do have value, and it's okay if it looks different, and not be, well, you're not an artist, so you're not really a creative. No, yeah, you are. You as a DJ, it's like, your question of, is this okay in the church? Like, how many creatives? I think that goes back to what I was talking about of like, if there's no space, the creatives go and they find somewhere else that will let them feel like they're at home, let them express themselves, because we need to, we must, God designed us with that vision and that dream in our heart. And so we must find that place that we can create and be and feel at home. And, I just pray over the churches that they are, more open, that they become more open to that creativity and that creative expression, and to the possibility that creativity has value and it has kingdom value, and people encounter God through it. They get healed through it. They get free through it. It's so important.
It is so important. And I love what Charity shared there about not limiting kingdom creativity to just the arts, but including things like business ownership and engineering and inventing new technology. All of that comes under the umbrella of kingdom creativity, because it all comes from that creative spirit that is in each and every one of you. You all carry that creative spirit because God made you creative. Amen. So you can no longer say, I'm not creative. You are, my friend. And that is what I got for you today. I hope you loved this third part in our Kingdom Creativity teaching series. And if you did, make sure you share it with a friend, and make sure you connect with Charity and everything she's doing. I have dropped the links to her website and all of her socials down in the show notes. So make sure you check those out. And next week, I will be wrapping up my conversation with Charity and wrapping up this series on kingdom creativity. So make sure you're following this podcast on your favorite platform so you don't miss it. Thanks so much for joining me today. And until next time, have an awesome day.